It's hard to believe, huh? 93rd episode. All right, here we go, everybody.
Is the health good?
I think so.
Four souls will enter. None will emerge.
Oh, hi, Mark.
If you have the balls, tune in for our weekly discussion for movies, and more movies. Movie news and things they watch on their Netflix queue. It's Hanging from the Balcony with Lewis the Professor,
I have literally the smallest muscles a man can have.
Miss Kimberly the Professor,
Shut the fuck up, all of you.
Nathan Betts,
You like that?
and Thomas the Doubter.
How have you been doing yoga?
You're listening to Hangin' from the Balcony.
And record. And welcome to... What are we on? What show is this? Hanging from the Balcony.
How many shows do you have, Lewis?
I don't know. I have a lot of shows. Check out all my other shows on different places.
That's
okay.
right. At lewistheprofessor.com.
LewisTheProfessor.com. Yeah. Hey, I am Lewis the Professor. Thank you for
That's
the
you.
introduction. And you are Nathan the Producer.
That's me.
Over here we have Kimberly the Professor. What is wrong with you?
You're so loud.
Am I too much? Am I in the mic? What?
Wow.
And over there we have Tommy the Doubter.
Hi. Sorry, I didn't know that was my hello.
How about if I'm back
You
here?
practiced all the way back here, and I said, yeah, as long as you don't lean forward. Now you're like, hello.
I do like I like the feel of the microphone on my tongue.
It feels good. You know I'm using that microphone later, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm getting it all wet for you.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Thank God.
Tommy, did you say hi?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Definitely.
We're all here to talk about movies. That's what we do on this show. It's just movies and then more movies. We will discuss new movies that we've all seen, follow that up with a little bit of movie news, and end with our homework assignment. We were assigned homework last week.
Yes.
In fact, I think we're assigned homework every week on this show.
I think
And
so.
you, the listener, are supposed to also participate. Hooray!
Hooray!
If there was a skip just then, we may have had a glitch.
Might have
maybe
been
not. Anyway, Nathan's going to tell us about what he saw recently.
We all saw this.
We did
one.
all see
We
it.
all
Yeah.
saw some MF and Birdman. Finally, it sucks being in a small town, but it's finally here.
Yeah, well, once in a while we get a show.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like a small indie show. Never was advertised here.
No.
I don't think I saw a single ad
Only
for
time I saw ad for it was on this show. Actually, when we
Yeah,
talked
you're
about it.
right.
Yeah, and I only saw the one preview, or I think I saw the preview and then we all watched together. So I saw the preview a total of twice, and that was clear back in whenever they were advertising it back in July, I think.
Right.
And I haven't seen a thing about it since. And I went into it last night, fresh, like no preconceived nothing. I don't know if that helps or hurts, but I thought it was probably the best thing I've seen all year.
Really?
By
Very
far.
nice. Yeah, I didn't go in with any too much of an idea of what the show would really be about or how it would be presented. What did you guys think?
I honestly had no idea what was about to happen. So
Yeah. I only had to go off that strange preview,
Yeah.
and which doesn't really tell you a whole lot
Doesn't
what's
tell you
going on.
anything, uh-uh.
And I mean, I just wanted something different, and I think we got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Different from what?
It's unlike any other film you'll probably ever see, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
Especially in the theater. I mean, I loved it, and just like Nathan, it's probably my favorite film of the year too.
now this was really a unique thing because you actually get to watch actors turn on, quote unquote, turn on their acting. It's really fascinating because it's
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying.
it's like because like you get to they're acting and then they go somewhere and act, and it's so the dynamic of that turning, like just watching them turn that on and off right in front of your face. It's really fascinating to see, like to watch Edward Norton go from like chit chatting to into his character. All of a sudden you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
that's so crazy. They can just, there it is.
So this is a film about a play.
Yes.
This is a movie that is following people who are putting on a Broadway play. And so that's what you're talking about
Yeah.
when we get to see the characters on the screen suddenly become their...
I feel like I'm I don't know, being represented in a way that a lot of movies don't do. So I'm coming from this super insider, but to hear you guys talk about it and really like it makes me think that that's really cool. It's not just me that's having a good time.
Oh yeah.
But I think the thing, like, because Lewis and I kind of broke it down into 3 different sections of how you could actually view the movie. The first one is the film work, like the actual camera work.
Yeah.
And the seamless editing to make it look like it's one take all the time.
It was so
No
cool.
kidding.
That was so cool.
Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
thing, and we can talk more about it. Second thing is just the acting, and that's what you guys were talking about with the characters
The
and the characters and the
performances were
characters.
just-
And I actually saw it twice. For the first time by myself because I was afraid I might miss it because sometimes they just disappear
do.
from our
They do.
theater.
Yeah.
And then the second
I wouldn't be surprised if it's gone.
This week,
Tomorrow, yeah.
In a day or
Or
two, yeah.
a couple of days from now.
And then I saw it with some friends, and that was the first thing. They weren't sure what to think about it. They aren't used to that kind of film, but they said that's one thing. They said the acting was terrific. And if these are people who just go to watch movies to have fun, that kind of says a lot about. Even they can see the actors put their souls, it seems like, into this film.
Yeah, they really. I mean, the acting's so strong. You know who I loved? Ed Norton.
I
don't
did
know.
too.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why,
He's
but
such a piece of shit.
yeah, but
I loved
when he
him.
was on screen, I just couldn't
Man.
stop. I just felt excited by his energy. It was a dangerous energy, and I really
No
enjoyed
kidding.
it.
Yeah.
I love. This is gonna sound so weird, but that scene with his raging heart on was so funny. I couldn't stop giggling over that stupid scene. That was so great. Now there was one thing that I wanted to run by you guys because I didn't quite. I might have missed something. Okay, so he's discovered or deciding to go ahead and start flying around, right? And he's flying around the city, and he comes back down. And he's done flying, and he just walks into the theater. And then some dude's chasing him, asking him for cab fare.
Right.
What did I miss there?
See that?
It's all in his
Was
head.
it in his... Okay,
It's all
in...
Just
but-
like he can move things with his mind.
Yeah.
But when someone opens the door, he's actually throwing things around. Remember
okay.
that?
It's point of view, so the camera actually works by his point of view, and so what we see is what he thinks he sees, which is that he can control objects.
Which
So
he
we
really
see-
can't.
Yeah, so when we get
But
the
at the
camera
end,
from behind a friend who comes in,
he's
we
just
see
throwing
them
shit, yeah.
watching him throw shit.
But at the end, she's looking for him, and then she looks up.
And
Right.
he's
So...
Well, and then the
Flying.
second time through, I actually saw it when they're talking about the terrible actor that he has. He actually looks up before an event happens
to make it fall.
and then he
Sorry, to make it happen.
yeah. Well, and then he walks away like nothing, like he knew what was going to happen,
And even says
so,
he did it.
Yeah, so it
That's such a cool scene.
makes
too.
you kind of
So here's
question.
I think so. I think that's
here's my
valid.
theory on this. I think it comes down to the scene with the critic, where he says to the critic, "You just sit there and you judge, and you don't put anything at risk. You don't live or die based on anything. You just sit there and judge, right?" And he makes this argument that to be an artist, to be a theater actor or a true artist, you have to risk everything. Okay, so I think this whole idea of him flying is him risking everything. It's his show. Is he going to succeed, or is he going to plummet to his career death?
Okay.
So
kind of a metaphor a
For
little
me,
bit,
it's
maybe?
very much a metaphorical thing, And so when she looks up, he risks everything. I mean,
he
because
got-
the whole thing's a show,
Yeah,
right?
and he got the review the next morning, and it was positive, and so I
Sure.
think in some ways we
yeah.
kind of...
Well, and I thought that the voice in his head had a kind of a hand in that, as far as making him feel like he's a god per se, or something special, like he's an actor, and that he's actually above them all, and it doesn't matter
He's
what
above
they say.
them all too.
And
I
he
think
does-
that's part of it.
And it doesn't matter what anyone says. He's got the power, and people are watching him. And I mean, and you can go in so many different directions. I mean, there was so much, like, in fact, when I went with the people and I asked them, like, what do you think? Like, did you like it? I was pumped after I watched it the first time. It's thought-provoking. You can't just be like, yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you don't really just watch this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
You're right,
There's
you're right.
a long moment of reflection over
and
this movie.
all of them were just like, I don't know what to think of this movie. Like every single one, all they could say is the acting was really good, but they honestly didn't know what to think. And these are people who generally don't go to these kinds of movies. Very thought-provoking film. And so, and even days later, I'm like, have you thought about it? And they just said, they tell me they don't know if they like it or not. They
Right,
just,
I get that.
They, and, I mean, to even invoke that kind of emotion in someone who doesn't put much stock or thought into film, I think says a lot.
I agree. Yeah. What do you think, Kim? Is this a movie that people should see?
Yes.
You said there were 3 things:
I
film
know,
work,
that's
acting,
okay.
and
story.
Story.
But we moved into story quite
We
seamlessly.
did actually kind of
just
shock into
like
story.
the movie. No, but I thought the film work. I mean, that was the moment when we got the
geez, the film
acting.
work.
We met Ed Norton's character right after she says, I'll get him up, I'll call him on the phone. And we moved down the hallway, and all of a sudden he's on the stage. And I went, oh, this is a play.
Yeah.
This is great.
'Cause
Because
in
people in
plays,
plays
you'll
show up the minute they're supposed to be there, and they go off stage and they come back on, and it's a different set, it's a different everything. And it's just, we all kind of are supposed to believe we fall into this story world. And I just love the way that film and theater blended, and it was just so cool.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
I say
I mean,
yeah.
especially because I didn't know what to expect, and I was just watching it, and I'm like, okay, this is an awful long take. All right,
Right,
They're
but-
not going. Are they? They are.
This is
But that was
happening.
That's impressive too.
No, yeah, no
They were
kidding.
so-
Yeah.
such
I
long
was
takes.
tickled. I was wondering how. they're gonna
And
do
did
it.
you also notice some of the shots where the camera would be looking straight into a mirror?
Yeah,
And you're like,
yes, I
where the
saw
fuck's
that-
the camera?
I
Like,
saw that a couple of times actually.
In
It's
the,
It's
so
opening,
cool.
the opening
Yeah.
sequence in his room, it does it. And you're just
Does
like,
it a few
and
times,
the stuff's
so
moving
cool.
around. I mean,
So Kim
It made-
mentioned
yeah.
you mentioned the director to me. What's his
oh
name?
yeah, Inuritu.
So I looked him up. He's the
Yeah.
guy that did Amoros Perros. He did
Told you we knew.
Babel
We'd seen his stuff before.
or Babel,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So yeah, he's a solid director.
Yeah.
He's made some really great movies.
But he makes movies
I'm gonna
every
say this is
3
his best movie.
years or so.
Yeah, every
These have come
couple
out every year.
Everyone in that film, man, like Michael Keaton, it was just so good to see him just
Playing himself in this weird way.
To a
There's
certain
some
extent.
great meta
I mean,
stuff
talking
going on.
about,
The way-
like-
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna mention. Is
Last
that
time I was Birdman was in the early '90s, and I'm thinking, yep, that's the
Yep.
last time he was Batman.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really interesting.
No,
Yeah, it was-
how he
yeah.
even his inside thoughts say that he paved the road to superhero movies, the modern
Right.
superhero movie.
Right, which
Like-
I get that. Yeah.
It's and the way they touch base on fame and then art and what's popular and
Yeah.
and they do it seamlessly. Like it fits into the story. It's not like random people talking about.
I could even find myself writing a paper about just the music too. The use
That's
of
so cool. Yeah,
like
the
drum.
drum solo.
Yeah, the
I loved
drums
when the
and-
drummer
but
would
then
be
there was
in the
other
movie.
music, like when he was jumping off the roof, he was like, music, soundtrack.
Yes.
He was calling his own cues for
Yeah.
his life.
Yeah.
And it's just so, I'm like, oh, I love
The
it.
the
I love
man
it.
yelling outside. It almost sounds like a mix song, and then you see it's just some crazy dude yelling
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
And then the guy says exactly what the other actor said. Was that too much? Should I bring it down a bit?
Yeah.
So good. No, yeah, this is a very smart movie.
Very smart movie. It's honestly one of those things you might want to see 3 or 4 times to catch everything that you might have missed in your first viewing, because there's a lot of levels happening
see
all
that.
at the same time. There's like what you're actually seeing. There's these undertones. There's this meta stuff splashed over the top of it, and all this side crap that you're like literally
And-
all this crap
And
going
it
on
doesn't,
all at
it
once.
doesn't
It's
wait
great.
for you to catch
No,
up.
it does not.
It just keeps on going.
Very unapologetic about that
I
kind of
like
thing.
it.
I loved it. It was so good.
And that makes sense. I see the critics 94%, public 86.
Yeah.
I can see the public being a little bit
a little
less
confused on some things,
Possibly,
maybe.
yeah. It's not one of those easy mainstream Hollywood blockbusters.
Yeah, it
By
was.
no stretch.
It was really great. I had no idea Zach Galifianakis was in it at all.
He was good.
Great, right?
He was good.
He was really.
I had
good.
no
Yeah.
idea that Emma Stone's eyes were as big as they are.
and the new pope.
And the new Pope. Yeah, that was a great line. There's some really great one-liners from him.
Oh
Oh,
man,
jeez.
just
Yeah, it's good stuff. Okay, what else did we see? You saw something else, didn't you, Tom?
No,
Or- no?
I saw it twice.
You saw it twice.
Yep.
What about you, Nathan? Did you see anything else?
I did. I watched a movie with Paul Rudd and Paul Giamatti. It's kind of a Christmas movie just because it was based around Christmas time, but the story it's not a feel-good movie by any means.
Okay.
It's called All Is Bright. And this dude, he's kind of like a fast talker. And he just he can kind of talk his way through anything type of guy.
Giamatti?
No, Paul Rudd's character.
okay.
And Giamatti's character has just gotten out of prison. And he's trying to find some legit work because they're both bank robbers. Giamatti went away for a very long time for a robbery that he got caught with, and Paul Rudd used to kind of do things for him, and he kind of got away with a quite a bit lighter sentence. And they're both trying to go legit, so they chopped down a bunch of Christmas trees, wrapped them all up, and went for New York. And they have a truck full of trees. They have 500 trees or something like that, and they're selling them for $200 a pop. Which I can't. As soon as they said what the price was, I'm like, "You've got to be shit!" Oh yeah, it's New York. Yeah, people will just drop that, no problem. So, but yeah, so they go and they set up shop, and they're miserable. They're cold. They brought hardly 2 pairs of socks to rub together with them. They brought nothing with them, and they're freezing their ass off. And then the story just starts to kind of unravel from there. It's the weirdest fucking story.
Yeah.
I don't really want, in case you guys want to check it out, I don't want to spoil too much but
Is it good?
I ended up hating it. No. Hear me out here just for a second. I ended up hating it the way it started set up, because the way it kind of gets set up, you're expecting kind of this fun Christmas story.
Okay.
I mean, it starts off just like Paul Giamatti's character is completely depressing the whole time, and then you meet Paul Rudd's character. You're okay, well, this is going to be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Paul Rudd's going to help him turn around, and then it's just this the whole time,
Up and down.
and it's a really kind of fascinating, quirky little story. I kind of hated it when it got going, but once it was finished, I was like, that was actually a pretty good movie.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, solid 4 out of 10. No, I think I would. Since you can't do half stars on Netflix, I gave it a 3, but I would have given it a 3.5 if possible.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
is it watch instantly?
It is not on Watch Instant. It is on disc.
Okay.
We got it on disc, and
Disc.
it's just a fascinating, weird, quirky character about these two guys, and it's mostly just those two guys on this little street corner that they set up on. And then they bounce off here and there. Paul Giamatti's character meets someone, and you go to their house once, and but mostly it's just this. But mostly it's just them on this street corner for an hour and a half, and
Okay.
all this crap happens, and something really crappy happens at the end. It's really an interesting little ride.
That sounds awesome. Did you see
I
anything
doubt
else?
it. I doubt it. I don't know. I'm not good at
Muppets?
describing movies. I'm
Anything
gonna
with Muppets in it?
I did see Muppets.
What'd you
I
see?
saw Muppets Most Wanted.
Oh, that's the
And,
sequel
Yeah,
that just came out.
and it was kind of it was really just adorable. I thought it was great. Literally starts 20 minutes after the last one ends.
Right.
And they're very, very, very self-aware of themselves and poking fun at
And the
themselves.
fact that it's a
and
sequel.
The fact that it's a sequel.
They have a song.
Yeah.
Sequel's never as good as the first one.
So I loved all the self-aware humor of it, and Tina Fey's character was fantastic, running the gulag or whatever she did. And I liked Ricky Gervais's character because his name is literally, his last name's Bad Guy, which is just ridiculously funny.
Well, how's he pronounce it though?
It's Bad G, I think, or Badji or something like that.
Badgui or something
Badgui.
like that. So silly.
It was really silly, and I loved it. I loved Ty Pennington's character, a Clouseau type character.
Yeah, right.
It was a lot of fun. If you don't like Muppets, don't watch it, obviously. But how could you not like Muppets? Go check out the Muppets movie; it's great.
I remember having such a good time at that show.
It was
It's
good.
it's Brett McKinsey again who
It's
did
his
the
music.
writing for the music.
Oh, there's the
So
Evil
good.
Frog sings the disco song.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
That was the best song. I remember just sitting in the
Yeah.
audience going, this song's amazing. Like, I'd put this on my fucking CD player or whatever kids listen to.
I'll get out my.
Wait, let me get my Discman. Yeah.
I put this on my
Listen to this on my
8-track,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I just gotta skip retardant.
This could be put on. This could be put on wax on my wax roll, and we could play. What are those
Stop
called?
it.
Oh, the wax roll.
From 1908.
Yeah.
Okay. Blah blah. Oh, hey, we saw some movies. Kimberly and I.
Yeah, so here's the deal. I'm really sorry. We still haven't seen Dumb and Dumber 2, and Lewis just said something, and you guys said something that reminded me of the original, and I couldn't stop laughing, so I have to say it. We went up to Spokane to... Where were we going?
To get some food at that one place. Oh, Spokane.
Okay, so we were flying, but we had to eat some food, so we were downtown, and we were walking around. It was quite cold, and we walked about 4 or 5 blocks, and I'm like, I'm so cold. And Lewis says, here, have my extra pair of gloves. I was like, you had an extra pair of gloves?
This whole time?
This whole time?
Yeah, Kimberly, it's Spokane. Duh.
I was so mad. And they were supposed to strangle him. Kim, your hands are freezing.
That's great.
I know.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't have extra gloves. I had a beanie on my head, and what I said was, "Here, take my toque, and I'll just put up my hood." And you're like, "You have a hood?" That's what it was. That's what it was. I only had one pair of gloves.
Anyway, it was
Which I
something like
kept.
that.
Such a gentleman.
Oh, but I wanna
So we
see
saw
it.
a few movies.
We didn't see that one.
But we didn't see Dumb and Dumber 2. We saw Big Hero 6.
Lucky.
did, yeah.
I was gonna go see that today because I had the day off, but
So
didn't
I
make
came out of Big Hero 6. I think I liked it more than Kim. You'll have to say what you thought. It's it's one of those animated things like Frozen or whatever. I came out and I said, Kimberly, that's one of my favorite movies of the year. Like, I think I'd rank it 3, maybe.
Wow.
top 3.
Yeah,
Top
and
3,
she's
yeah.
like, it was good, but why that? And I think what it is, I think Big Hero 6 is a perfectly crafted script. Like, if you take my screenwriting class and I'm like, this is what a script should look like, and I give you all the steps, where Birdman isn't. Birdman is doing something original and fresh and very, very unique, but it does its own thing. I think Big Hero 6 does everything it does perfectly. Like, it shows you how structure can make or break a movie. It's so perfectly structured. The events happen right on time. In some ways, you might say that it makes certain things predictable, and it is. It's a kids' movie. Like, they're not going to have some moment where you say, well, that seems out of, inappropriate. But it's smart. It's funny. The robot, the
white
puffy
thing,
robot is so funny. He's so cool.
I'm in love with him, and I've only seen the preview for this movie.
Baymax. You will fall in love with him. He's the wonderfulest.
He is. He's great.
And
he's-
go ahead.
No, the reason why he's so great is he's been programmed to help people, and so the reason he's designed with that puffy exterior is because it's very approachable, and it's not scary, and it's not intimidating, and it makes people like trust him and like him.
And he
then
can
he also
hug you
can
and
give you
not
really
hurt
great
you.
hugs, and he
Yeah.
doesn't hurt you.
Nice.
So it's like he's got this medicine program, but part of the story is, he can be programmed because the robot can be programmed. So they put a couple different chips in him at certain times for the movie. But yeah, he's got a heart of gold. He's like a doll.
And I didn't know what this was. I think it may be based on a comic book.
I think it's a comic book series.
I didn't realize it was a superhero story.
Yeah.
Big Hero 6 is because there's 6 heroes that fight the bad guy.
Sweet.
And
They're all
so you get
young,
They're
like teenagers, right?
They're
young,
like 14.
Yeah, they're all. Well, they're not. They're in college.
Oh, he's 14,
The
and the
kid's
kids are
14.
in college.
Yeah.
His brother's friends.
But they're really adorable. One of them's voiced by T.J. Miller.
T.J.
I love
Miller.
T.J.
I keep listening to that
So
guy's
good.
voice all
I
the
know, he's so great.
But I go ahead and watch it and tell me if it doesn't just feel like maybe a little predictable if you've seen a lot of movies. But I'm thinking for a kid, there's it's just so
Well, for
perfect.
The
adults.
kid,
together.
yeah, like the kid in you is like, yay!
The kid in me was yay throughout. I just had a really great time with it.
Excellent. I cannot wait to see it because I know that will be here for another 4 weeks. So I'll have a chance to get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, what'd you think, Kim?
Well, I was just starting my end of the year movie list, and honestly, I think Big Hero 6 is really good, and I talked about it a lot this last week, and Lewis made a great point with the perfect screenplay. But when I think about a movie I liked a little bit more, it was How to Train Your Dragon 2. That
Really?
makes the top of my... I feel
That's
like
weird.
that one...
TJ Miller's in that too.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's TJ
He's
Miller.
got such a good
that's
voice.
it. He's got a
He's
great
in all my
voice.
favorite movies this year. Transformers: Age of
But they're
Extinction.
both good. I say see them all.
Piece of shit.
I just
Way
added
to
that to my
ruin the-
Netflix queue.
We
by the
had
way.
good vibes.
Oh, speaking of pieces of shit.
It's available.
I got a
Netflix now.
disc. It sat on my shelf from Netflix for 2 months. Finally, I got it on. I was like, Kim, let's put this on. So we put it on. It was called Six String Samurai.
Which
I
has
pulled
a
it
great
off.
title, does that not? That sounds awesome,
sounds
right?
great.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be?
I
It's
got it
gonna
off
be-
of a list of like cult favorite movies and stuff, and I was
Gotta
like, oh,
be
okay, I'll have to
careful
check.
with those cult films.
Well, it's super low budget. It's
Super.
it's set in some post-apocalyptic. Well, actually, the idea is that the Russians took over America in the 50s, and only Las Vegas held out, and Elvis was the king, and he reigned for a while.
Literally the king.
He was the king of Las Vegas
He
for
was the king of Las Vegas.
for 40 years, but he's died, and now they need a new king. So
They
this
need
samurai he carries around a samurai sword and a guitar, and he dresses kind of like Buddy Holly, and he's traveling to Las Vegas to
He
become
looks
the new
like
king.
Buddy Holly, and he walks through the deserts to Las Vegas.
And theoretically, this could be a good movie. It's so
Jesus
bad.
Christ.
We watched for about 20 minutes, and Kim looked
no,
at me
it
and
was
was
30.
like,
Give
30
me 30.
minutes. Kim looked at me and she's like, oh, this is bad. And I was like, let's just stop it. We were both really miserable.
My
we stopped
time
it.
is valuable, and I
Yeah,
have not
I
quit.
ag-
I
I
have
agree
not
with
quit
that.
a movie in like 6 or 7 years. It's been a long time, so I deserve a quit every now and then because we just don't. We watch it, no matter how
We
shitty
do.
it is.
Yeah.
We'll watch it. This was beyond shitty. Like it was beyond a star. I don't even want to rank it 1 because that gives it 1 more star than it should
It's
get.
a full-on turkey.
It's-
Well, and
I
I...
thought you were gonna say turd. I'd say turd. The turkey's
Well, it's a
fine,
turd too. So I'm one of those that want to finish things. So I waited till the next day
Yeah,
while
we
she
had-
was at school, and I put on and I watched the last hour. And the last hour was just as shitty as the first half hour.
I'm so
Like
glad I
in no
saw
way
it.
did it
Jeez.
improve. It was consistently just bad.
Wow.
And it's the kind of bad that you can't really gain anything from it. Like I feel like you could watch Transformers: Age of Extinction and go, "Oh, this is why blockbusters sometimes fall apart because this is a bad
That's
editing
why I don't wanna
choice or
give
this
it
is a
1
poor
star because 1 stars you can at least learn
Or
from.
The Room.
Or
Even The Room.
yeah.
The Room has like what or Birdemic. I could watch Birdemic 20 times before I'd ever put this thing back on.
Wow.
Oh
No,
yeah.
for real.
Oh yeah.
Like there's just so many problems with it. It's not funny when it's trying to be funny. It's not exciting when it's trying to be exciting.
It was nothing.
The-
What about our bottom of the bottom that we've come across as far as Guns, Girls, and Gambling and what's it called? Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, you've
No,
got
there have
me.
been some bad ones even worse than those.
Those are bad.
It's bad. Can we just have
It's
a
just
bottom
bad.
five?
We
Can
need
all
a
five-
bottom,
can
like,
they all
bottom
be
of the
in
barrel.
That's
bottom
what
of
I
the
was
barrel?
trying to figure out. Is
Like,
if
I don't
it
know-
deserves to be that low.
It's that low. It is that
I would
low.
never
I
Do
don't
we have
know.
a third
I
one in
don't want
the
you to
in the
see
clubhouse?
it, so
Yeah,
that you
throw
can
a
tell
third
me it's
turd
at
in the
bottom.
bucket because that is exactly what's happened here. Holy cow! So do not rent Six String Samurai. There's
Thank
just nothing
God
to
we
it.
had another movie to wash that shit out of our
So
mouths.
we stopped it and we put on Kim's disc.
Yeah. Lewis, let's watch mine first. And I'm like, so we watched mine, and mine was awesome.
Dom Hemingway with Jude Law.
Nice.
So tell us about it, Kim.
So don't just stop after the opening scene because you think it might be inappropriate.
We all made it through Nymphomaniac around here.
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
It was just, it's great. Like, I don't even want to say it's inappropriate. It was great. There's, so it opens up with this long take, and it's a, like, head and shoulder shot of Jude Law, and he's just talking about his cock. Like, and he
For like
says
2
cock.
minutes.
Like, Not like maybe longer.
It's
but
just
it's long,
a
and he's
long
just
monologue
loves
about his cock.
I love my cock, and he's
His
just
cock is just so
fucking
perfect.
It's
He
perfect, and it's
describes
just.
every.
And then you start
part
to
of that
realize
cock.
something's going on with this cock while he's talking about his cock, and then someone leaves the room. So it was
he's
the
like-
whole time was this
Like he's
awesome.
in prison getting a blowjob,
Yeah,
and he's
getting
like,
a blowjob.
"Sorry, Mark. Sometimes it just happens. You don't have a warning. Sorry about that."
So then it's like Dom Hemingway. The title comes up, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good movie. I just knew.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
he's
gosh.
this cock of the walk, not
This-
to, but
just this
he's
British
just
gangster that's just-
yeah, going out. He's back out of jail. He went in for about 10, 12 years
Something. And
for
he just
something that he
talks.
could have squealed on, but he didn't because he's got conviction and he's got his loyalties to the guy he was covering, the big boss guy. And now the whole plot of the movie is he's got to go back to the boss and he's going to get his shit. He's going to get some money. He's going to get paid for going to jail for 12 years for this guy.
and
And
keeping
he
his
wants
mouth
his
shut.
stuff for keeping his mouth shut. And he's got this friend, and his friend actually turns out to be this really interesting character
Yeah.
that I grew to like a lot. And they go around together, they pal around, and the Jude Law character is just kind of like sometimes a crazy guy. Like he acts insane,
Sometimes.
but it's
But he
fun.
talks.
And
The way he
dialogue.
talks.
That was what we ended the show.
He
going.
doesn't say something.
No.
He like waxes poetically about things in this really low class British way. It's so gorgeous. like we say, he talks about his cock for over 2 minutes,
You don't think you can do it, but you can.
and it's all one take, and it's just straight
Yeah,
into the camera,
yeah.
and you just. If that opening scene speaks to you, the whole movie will.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, maybe the movie won't. But Jesus, it's good.
And
Plus,
he's
there's
got this for example, he's got this really, really bad hangover. He drinks really hard. They go on the train, and he's sitting there, and he's got well, he didn't just drink; he had like drugs too. And so
He went
he's
on
got
a
this,
bender, yeah.
So he's holding onto his head, and his friend's just like sitting across from him, telling me, "You got to snap out of it. You got to get out of this." He's like, "I'm gonna die," and he talks about how he's so sick he's going to die, like literally die. His head's going to explode, and he's like, "I'm sorry about your shirt, man. I'm gonna get brain pieces all over it." Like he just goes on and on and on about this same thing, and you just don't. I don't know. It's cool.
It's so
like it's
funny.
very creative. So
Plus, that one guy gets a splinter. That's just a tease. You gotta see
It's
it.
the guy from second season of The Bridge.
First and second season.
Oh,
It's
first
the
and
cop.
second season. Yeah, Damien.
He's
Damien's
good.
his name.
No, it's
Yeah,
a good
so
movie.
he's in it.
It's and like I said before the show, I thought long and hard about like how do I rate this, and at first I wanted to just give it a 4 because it was good. But the more I thought about it, I'd go, "Oh, that dialogue was so. Oh, and that scene was so good." And the more I thought about it, the more I said, "This is just a great movie."
Yeah.
And so I ended up marking it a 5
Nice.
on Netflix.
It's pretty rare. It's hard
It's
to
a
get.
good. I'm so happy with it.
I
So
agree. You should see Dom Hemingway.
Dom
It is
Hemingway
on Watch Instantly.
It's
on
disc.
disc.
on disc.
I think I saw a preview for it and instantly added it to my queue too. I think.
His daughter is played by Khaleesi from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
She's
I did not
really
add
in
it.
it that much. Don't go
She's
for
not
her.
in it much.
Sorry, Nathan.
Don't worry about it.
Hmm?
Yeah, look at that picture. Yeah, so there's a scene.
That giant monkey
There's 3
pose,
monkeys
those
in
monkey
that room.
paintings.
It's just so they're
Just
really.
it's
cool.
the attitude. Like
Look at
you
it.
can see how he's sitting on the poster. How he's
He's
got his
just
legs
like-
spread and he's just sitting back like I'm the shit. You know.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Dom Hemingway. It's really good.
Yeah,
So good job, Kimberly, on picking
wash that taste out
a
of our
movie?
mouths with a good movie.
what the Six String Samurai.
6 String Stupid Rye.
Maybe. Oh, good one.
Ooh.
I
I'm
know,
gonna
right?
write that
Was
down.
it though?
Right.
That was a super burn. Good job, Kim. Okay, let's move on to news. Okay,
Movie news time.
so what do we got here?
We got Oscar Isaac to play a villain in X-Men Apocalypse. I do not know who Oscar Isaac is.
Wait,
Does anyone
he
else?
was the guy from with the cat. Was he in the
Yeah, he's inside Llewyn Davis.
inside Llewyn
Oh.
Davis? That's who that is.
He's also he was
Yeah.
in Drive. He was the husband in Drive.
I haven't seen any
He's
of these movies.
also
Is
in
he
the
any good?
new Star. He's awesome, actually. He's really
That's
a
good.
good actor. He's in the new
He's
Star
good.
Wars. He will be playing the X-wing pilot that is in the trailer, who's flying right at your face.
Oh, cool.
Remember that from the? Did you guys all see the trailer?
Yeah.
That's kind of news,
Adore.
right?
Yeah.
Did you watch the Lucas special?
Lucas
version?
was my favorite. I saw the Wes Anderson version and
The
all
Wes Anderson version.
They're
was
all
cool.
really good. They're all really good. But the Lucas one just
Did you
cracked
see
me
the
up.
Saturday Night Live version?
Yes. yes. Harrison
Saturday Night-
Ford.
oh,
I just couldn't
Hey,
stop
Harrison Ford,
thinking
you just
about
heard
Lewis.
me, huh?
Yeah.
That's
That's Lewis.
Tell us about your early bird special.
Oh my god, dude, I'm gonna write that down. That's a good quote for later. I gotta make a new thing for the new year. That's a great quote. Oh,
Tell me about your early bird special.
Harrison Ford sold. No, but the George Lucas version at the end of the normal trailer, the Millennium Falcon does the loop, and then the 2 TIE fighters, and the George Lucas 400 TIE fighters.
just flying out of-
It's just way too much.
Too much.
Just like Lucas.
Seeing C-3PO and R2 drive by on the speeder right next to the X-Wings or snow speeders.
For no reason.
yeah.
Just all these things thrown in the background.
And did you
for no
notice
reason.
on Tatooine how many ships are in the air?
Oh yeah,
flying
just
by.
flying by, and all the banthas on the dirt behind him. It's supposed to be like this desolate, middle of the desert where he's completely stranded, and instead we've got 400 things walking around the back.
Yeah, someone.
So good.
I was excited. I don't know. People pointing out things that I didn't notice as far as being actually on set, like he's in fact in a desert, and the Sith walking through the forest is in fact
A
like
forest,
outside
place.
in a lumpy environment.
Great. That's so good to hear.
Instead of green screen, after
Right.
green screen.
Yeah.
So tired of well, I mean that
Bless
was
you.
the prequels. They're all just green screens.
Yeah.
And if you feel it, you feel like nobody's moving. You feel like they are.
Of course, and to be fair, the black stormtrooper at the beginning,
Yeah.
it looked like he had more personality than anyone in episode 1.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was on there for that
Half a
long?
second.
Yeah.
He came up, it popped up on the camera with his face, and I went, "Hey, that guy's feeling something. That's an emotion."
He's not a heartless machine.
Hell, the Sith guy, I guess he's a Sith guy that was walking through the forest, just the way he was hunched over and stuff. I was like, "Oh, there's something happening there."
Yeah.
And who is that Sith guy? Who do you think? I think it's Luke.
Do you think so?
I hope so. I want it to be Luke.
so cool.
I want Luke to. I want him to. When they bring back the guys from the, Luke and Han Solo, the worst thing could be if they're just sitting around like on that Saturday Night Live skit, going, "Hey, it's me. Remember me? Everything's great with me." I want to see like something's happened and they're still struggling with things.
The thing because it's called The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I'm assuming people with the Force are coming out of the woodwork now,
Oh,
because
okay.
everyone was killed off, and this is my prediction because he's actually growing a beard for the role, and Jedi, as you know, 1 through 3 and Obi-Wan in the 4th film all have beards.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm
that's
assuming
true.
maybe he's going on a recruitment
be.
drive, and then I don't know who the Sith's gonna be. I mean, don't get me wrong, that'd be cool to see him as a Sith.
Maybe not a Sith, but who's to say that he can't be a Jedi hunting a Sith? You know what I mean? Just because he's wearing black, we all assume like,
And
oh,
he-
he's Darth
and
Vader
he
because
did
he wears
wear
black
black
at
in
the
the
end of
sixth
Jedi,
one, yeah.
right? So I would love it for
Yeah.
us to just be surprised by like, I want Luke to look badass. That's all I want. It's just
And-
some badassery.
We brought up Mark Hamill, and I'm only bringing this up because Mark Hamill and Kim was talking about the Flash. I guess he's coming back as the trickster
Yeah.
in the Flash series.
Who he played in the original Flash series.
That is so
how
great.
amazing is that?
Fantastic.
By the way, I know this is a movie show, but let's just say, best show of the new season, The Flash. The Flash is amazing. We just watched the new Flash
we spent a
episode.
whole pre-show
20.
and I was like,
Did you guys
"Gosh,
have you
it's
seen
so
it?
good."
20, 35 minutes.
Holy
talk about
shit!
it.
And the whole time it's happening, all these things are happening, and
So
I'm giddy. I'm like,
good.
I feel like I'm 14, reading like comic books for the first time. I'm watching the Flash, going, this is just what I wanted. This is exactly.
Yeah.
Shield's finally getting there. They're finally getting there.
Ish.
They killed off my
Nathan
favorite
and
guy.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
We
in
thought
your
you were
post.
being
They did, and I
sarcastic.
told him you weren't.
We thought you
on the Facebook.
On your
some,
Facebook
some
post.
things happened
Yeah.
on the Shield.
we both heard heard
They
your
were
voice in our head when we
deadpan.
read that, and we thought you were completely delivering it deadpan and sarcastically.
Maybe. That's okay. No, I actually am kind of excited by some of the changes. But see, S.H.I.E.L.D. still's got problems. It still has problems. The Flash from episode 1 was up and running. It was just doing great things.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's
Arrow's
great.
still good, and the fact that they're both run by the same guy shows me that there's one guy out there who knows how to tell like a weekly superhero story.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. What other movie news we
Oh,
got?
well, speaking of DC, they signed on what's his face as Aquaman for 4 films.
Momoa?
Yeah, for 4 films as Aquaman.
Wow, 4 films.
So,
Dang.
is there any chance? Let's talk about DC for a second, because as you may have heard, they've cast Suicide Squad with huge stars. I'm going to say huge. Will Smith as Deadshot. Boy, there's a part of me that's super concerned with that.
I don't like it. Not one bit.
Is Suicide Squad where Arrow and Flash are sending their people?
Yes, we've seen them on Arrow where they get a few
And
guys
there's
like
that lady that
Deadshot,
that
Waller.
runs it?
Yes,
yeah,
Waller.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna
See,
cast. They want to cast Oprah Winfrey
This
for her.
should have been. That would have been awesome.
Kidding?
I'm not. They
Wait.
haven't, but they want to.
What?
I think that the Suicide Squad should have been their Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
They should cast...
It should have been, and it should have been a bunch of unknowns or medium level actors.
No, it should be How to Get Away with Murder Lady. She's great.
They could. They may still cast Viola Davis. She
Viola
is great, and I
Davis.
think she would make a great
She's
Amanda
great.
Waller.
Okay.
Much better than
Don't do
But
Oprah
Will
Winfrey.
Smith. Will
No.
Smith.
Will Smith?
And no, it has nothing to do with his look.
No,
I
I
don't care about
agree.
that.
I totally
It
agree.
has everything to do with, that's Will Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's going to be just as bad now that he's a Academy Award winner. Everybody's going to be like, oh, there's Jared Leto pretending to be the Joker.
Well, the problem with the Joker's a hard one to play. I think they had to get someone of Leto's caliber. I think Leto may be able to find an
And
interesting
really,
way
is
in.
Leto really a household name? I mean,
No, I
he's
think-
he's
I
a,
don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think he'll
think
find a
he'll
way
do the
into the
best.
character that we're like, cool.
Yeah.
I hope so. But
He's the one I have the most hope for.
yeah,
Out
I have a
all
lot of
the-
I have hopes for him.
Yeah.
But Will Smith, I just we know him too well. He's too Will Smith
Take
Yeah.
me.
right now. Oh.
Oh, they dropped Captain from that, and he's just going to play a character
Boomerang.
called Jai Courtney as Boomerang.
Why'd they drop Captain?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Who's
well,
that girl?
This is Cara
she's a model and upcoming
Delvine.
actress. She will be
And,
playing Enchantress. Her power is to enchant you with her sexy boobs.
Oh my
and
god.
boobs.
No, she's like obviously I'm not thrilled of her background, but like
Who's that
Enchantress, I don't know. They should have
Margot
threw in
Robbie.
someone like King Shark, in my opinion.
Wouldn't that have been better?
King Shark
Yeah,
would have
way
been so
better.
cool.
Tom Hardy is Rick Flag.
Who I've never heard of ever.
He was in the early Suicide Squads. The thing is,
You don't know
they're
who
clearly
Tom
trying
Hardy
to
is?
avoid like
I'm kidding.
they're trying
that?
to avoid the over the top comic-y stuff. I think by getting Tom Hardy as Rick Flag, they're kind of saying to us, we're gonna stay dirty, gritty,
True.
down to earth.
Maybe he'll show his wiener.
With
Like-
a bunch of butter all over
And
his
then
arms.
instead of Enchantress, they should have done Killer Cold or whatever, or Killer Frost, or I forgot her name.
They have someone for Harley Quinn, right?
Yeah.
Robbie,
Yeah.
Margot Robbie.
Robbie.
She's a pretty little thing.
We'll see.
I heard she was good in Wolf of Wall Street.
I haven't seen it yet,
Fantastic.
and
She was
you know,
fantastic in Wolf of Wall Street.
Huh.
well, speaking of Jai Courtney, he's also in the new Terminator. Did you guys see the trailer for
Yeah.
Genesis?
Yeah.
It's spelled sis, like system, SYS.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks.
We're there. Iron
Maybe we
Sky.
We're
should.
not gonna watch it.
No,
They'll destroy
No,
us.
I just clicked on that one because I meant to click on this
What
one.
do you guys
actually.
think? You saw the preview, Tom?
Yeah, and you're not talking about the teaser, right? The actual preview.
Yeah.
I thought it looked horrible. It looked awful. Like it looked bad.
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger from the future and the past.
Yeah, and like they went
what he
from
says.
like serious, like or tried to be serious Christian Bale, almost semi-drama, like to they went backwards.
You think?
Yes, completely. Yeah, we're talking about Terminator 3 backwards.
Isn't it because they didn't end the last movie the way they should have?
I don't know.
Because that was sorely disappointing.
They haven't been sure what to do with the Terminator
Oh shit.
franchise.
stuff. This is just some guy like
Oh wow.
Yeah, doing the.
creating his own. That
That's
looks
scary.
terrible.
That looks
If she looks
terrible.
like that will be the worst.
That looks terrible, but the first one looks scary.
Yeah, that looks badass.
That looks really
Go
scary.
back to this. So yeah, I meant to click on this while we were talking about it, and I kind of forgot. But yeah, that's
Or just Suicide
No,
Squad.
yeah. Back to Suicide
It
Squad.
just
for a second.
it looks bad.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, it looks rehashed. It looks like they're like, hey, this is our version of a reboot. Like, because we obviously don't have writers who can do as well as they did in Star Trek, making a reboot. So this is our version of a reboot.
The
And
reboot idea
it looks
is
so
not smart. Well, we'll see.
From what I can tell from the preview, it looked awful.
So, I think that a lot of these big movies that are trying to hit something in us, I think a lot of them are going to crash and burn. And I think DC's like, we're going to have to do just like Marvel and make $1 zillion. And there's no guarantees.
You know what they should have done? Instead of putting all this money into all these movies, they should have put all that into TV shows.
They
since
really should have. They should have
are-
taken over the TV.
Yeah.
And you know what? They should have done something smart with their TV. They should have said, Flash and Arrow are catching on. They're hot. Let's make a bunch of shows and make sure they're all connected and make them all good. You know, whoever's in charge of Arrow and Flash, let's have that guy oversee everything and make sure they're all awesome. Instead, they had Constantine come out on one channel and it laid an egg. The actor's good, but the show's just shitty. They had Gotham on another channel, which is what the fuck. You know who's the best part of Gotham?
You mentioned it, the time or
Penguin.
Alfred.
two.
Penguin and Alfred.
Alfred's become the second best character.
Yeah, Alfred and Penguin are the only
Yeah.
reasons to watch that show. They're not
That's
the main
stupid.
characters,
That's
so
stupid,
that's
yeah.
usually a bad sign. And none of those shows are connected to Flash or to. And then they start to do their movies like Justice League, and they cast someone different as Flash and someone different as all the things, and so there's no connection between their shows. I mean, I'll go see them because I'm a big nerd about this stuff, but I'm gonna be angry. The whole time I'm gonna be like, that kid's not as good a Flash as the TV version. That guy's not as good as the TV version. I mean, they had Captain Boomerang on Flash. It was the Arrow versus Flash episode. And he was really cool. He was like legitimately cool. We were like, that guy's pretty tough. He's awesome. Now I'm going to be like comparing this one-time no-name actor to Jai Courtney, and I guarantee I'll be like, Jai Courtney sucks a dick. Right? Go get that no-name guy. Because anyway, I'm just really unsure how DC's going to fare.
Other than that, Lewis has no opinions on the matter.
I have no opinion other than that. All right. Is that enough news, or do we have one more?
We do have one more, but we can save it for next week.
Let's save it for next
Okay.
Yeah.
week. All righty, guys. Let's talk about
Chicks,
Kimberly's.
man.
Let's talk
Oh,
about
sorry.
Kimberly's homework. What did you assign to for us there, Kimmy?
Sabotage. I was doing my Beastie Boys.
Listen, all y'all.
You can't not think that. Yeah, so I assigned Sabotage. We missed it this year, and it came out so quickly at Netflix Watch Instantly. So I was really excited to check it out. It looks like a thriller action / figure me out, because the plot was pretty much, there's all these guys, they went on a thing, they stole a
Missing
bunch of
money.
money,
A
and
job
now
gone
it's
wrong.
gone. A job gone wrong, and then we find out when we watch the film that guys are getting picked off. So
Who done it?
Yeah, so we know that someone on the team, this is a team of brothers. They go in and they fight crime. They're like, what, a drug enforcement?
Jake Sully was there
They're
even.
the
And then we find out that
DEA
somebody
agents.
inside their team is killing
Dirty
off other people.
rat.
right.
dirty rat.
So what did you guys think about it? Nathan, what did you think?
No wait, that was the other one. I was just about to say something that wasn't quite true. I liked this movie. I wanted to like it a lot more than I did, though. I wanted to give it a 4. I ended up giving it a 3.
So what didn't work?
I couldn't put my finger on what it was. It was all great. I think what I finally ended up determining was much like, or actually much opposite to John Wick, there's a shit ton of violence in this movie. John Wick's violence fucking stylized and cool. This violence, super realistic and kind of stomach churning.
Yeah. Pretty violent, though. You're right.
It's violent. I wouldn't say super realistic. The last chase scene, how lame was
No,
that?
I'm not talking about the chase scene. The chase scene was lame as
Empty,
crap.
It was like-
empty streets.
But when he
and-
gets his head removed by that truck that he piles into,
That happened. I literally went.
yeah,
I sat there like this for like 20 minutes or for like 2 minutes, just going, "What did I just see?
It's
Holy
just-
shit!"
it's the level of brutality.
Yeah,
It's
it
just-
was pretty. It was pretty
I don't
grotesque.
know. I think it was the CG sparks of the metal getting hit by the bullets that kind of like made me.
Yeah, there's some things that happened that were unrealistic, but some of the gore and some of the violence
if
was
a
pretty
hood
over
of
the
a
top.
car was getting hit by a machine gun like that, I
Yeah.
guarantee you there wouldn't be much of the hood left,
Right,
and
right,
it was
right.
just like CG sparks like
Yeah.
happening behind them.
It's a Hollywood trope that you can hide behind your car and bullets won't go through. It doesn't. It shouldn't.
It didn't work, I think, a lot in this film because a lot of the gunfights they had were indoors, and you'd see stuff. They'd have impact. I don't know what they use in Hollywood, but you could see that there's an actual impact, or at least they're making it look like
Yeah,
it. There's
they
an
call
impact.
those squibs, right?
I don't know.
It could be if they're just exploding packets. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It kind of I like the dirty cop feel to it, like getting into that kind of world. Like there's guys like that who are constantly undercover, and I'm sure they have issues as soon as they're not on the job.
Right.
Drug addiction,
Yeah,
substance
I would
abuse,
imagine that would be rough.
Trying to turn it off.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd be. I just always think about like if for a second I'm going to become this person, and I think about like what their life might be like, and like Thomas is saying, like you go and you do this thing, and now you're just supposed to flip that switch and not be that dirty piece of shit anymore.
But
You're like, how do you do that? How do you walk that line? How do you choose to do something like this?
and they had a lot to work with that, but they kind of it fell flat. None of the characters were interesting in the least.
That female
There was one.
co-lead.
Yeah.
Mariolino.
She drove me fucking nuts. I couldn't stand her. By the time she was done,
She's my
the Seattle
favorite part
show
of the
that we
movie.
watched.
She easily
Drove me.
outshined the other actors.
To
but-
me, she was the only one that was like, I'm here to act.
Yeah.
She may play somebody that you don't like.
That's
'cause
true.
She's a very difficult human being.
Yes,
But I believed
I think
she was the only one I was like, wait a minute, she's 5 foot nothing and she
Kicking ass.
I believe that she hangs with these guys.
Yeah,
you know?
and I just the whole thing that happened between Schwarzenegger and the cop. I was just like, no, this is they're like
No.
backpedaling into like regular Hollywood territory of the '90s, and it didn't do anything for me. I was disappointed.
I'll tell you what. Okay, I think this could have been a good movie, but I think there was one major flaw, and I'm gonna say that flaw was Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
For me, Schwarzenegger's miscast. He shouldn't have been in this movie at all.
It would have been. I would have believed this more and watched it more if it was. I know he's way overused for this particular character, but I would have believed this way more to watch The Rock do this.
You know what? I would have put like fucking Ethan Hawke in this place.
Ethan
you know?
Hawke would. I would have watched the shit
I'm just
out
saying-
of that
I
too.
hate that guy.
I do too. But that's what I'm saying. I just find a guy that looks like he's part of the team. Don't get some Austrian bodybuilder who's
Yeah.
69 and stick him in there.
69.
You know?
If anything, he should have been a side. He should have been leader, like one of the side guys who don't.
Sure, I'm okay
Like-
with that. Put Joe what's his name?
Montaliangelo.
Montaliangelo. He played the really big guy.
Yeah, with the
That
weird.
guy. Every
the
time
weird
he's on
cornrows.
screen, I'm like, that fucker's huge.
Yeah, that dude's
Big.
big.
I want to
boy.
start seeing that guy in a movie.
Yeah.
But like, I think Schwarzenegger's problem, for me at least, is the second he's on screen, I'm like, oh, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So everyone else is acting and being in character, and Schwarzenegger walks in chewing on his cigar, which he uses in every goddamn movie, and he's like, hey guys, I'm Schwarzenegger, and I'm here to make sure that we all work as a team. And I'm like, fuck you. You're so not an actor. He's just not. He did action movies in the 80s, and hoorah for that. But he pulls me out of the movie. So
Yeah.
And the big twist at the very end, I was like,
I had story
didn't
problems.
we
Yeah.
pull it? Didn't
Yeah.
we go? Well, it's probably this guy. And we were right.
The thing that kind of saves it from being really bad is that there's two different things going on that we think is being done by the same person.
Which I
and
liked.
And they're
That
done
was
by two
good.
different parties. And
Yeah.
so that kind of saves it a little, but the story needed help, and there we needed a new lead character.
Yeah.
Lead actor. We didn't need Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, I wanted it to be good. It was not good. I mean, it was
It was
mediocre.
okay,
It was
Yeah.
you know?
mediocre,
It was-
but it could have been better.
Yeah.
A couple things, and it could have been really quite good. Because I love teamwork movies.
It is bad. It is
I love
badass.
buddy movies.
It's
like,
badass.
In the beginning, when they're all like working as a team, going in to get the money in the very opening scene, and they're all working together seamlessly, and they're doing this, and they're just so effective. And I'm like, oh, it's really good. It was good camera work.
And
You
the-
felt the brotherhood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
felt the brotherhood.
definitely and them fucking with each other, like all that shit.
Yeah.
But sending it down the pipe, I was like, I never thought of that. That's genius. That
Yeah,
was
it's
that
They
was
can't
cool.
just carry it out, you know.
Right, yeah.
And the problems with the lady cop, whatever.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was-
just so
that-
unbelievable.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that
I
was
Especially
said
for her
whenever we saw it,
character.
I said, nope,
yeah.
Yeah.
not.
She
There was
didn't
that
know
one
what
No
to
shot.
do.
There was a
happening.
shot where they kind of look at each other, and I go, "Oh God, are they going to be a relationship?"
Yeah,
They're so
he said
fake.
it.
It's so fake.
It
And
was
then
forced.
it was
forced.
very-
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They're like making out, and then he's doing a walk of shame the next morning. I'm like, really? Like they have no reason to be attracted to each other. I don't know. Maybe she's like
His
"Oh,
muscles.
He's
He's
you
a
remind
legend.
Me, you
Didn't you
remind
see-
me of my grandpa.
Did you see all the pictures and awards and accolades? I mean, come
Yeah.
on, that's it.
He's an
And
important
and,
person.
and if you were in
He had
the
pictures
crime
with the
force or
presidents.
whatever, you him shaking hands with the president.
Couple of presidents.
I think
Oh.
it was
Several,
it was
yeah.
probably a script that looked pretty good on the
paper.
page.
Yeah.
And then they started casting it, and they were getting some like Josh Holloway or whatever. He's the guy that gets nailed to the ceiling.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Sam
He doesn't do anything.
Worthington, the dude that
Yeah,
got in the
Sam
refrigerator-
Worthington.
refrigerator.
And then they're like, oh, but who's gonna play? Who could lead this group?
Is Bruce Willis doing anything?
Yeah,
Yes.
see, Bruce Willis would have been just as bad. I mean, I feel like there's just certain actors who have created a certain. This is my issue with Will Smith in Suicide Squad. I feel like he's got such a persona beyond the movie that it's going to be difficult for him
Yeah.
to make me believe he's the character that he's portraying.
I agree with that. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough to. I get pulled out of Tom Cruise movies for the same
Yep.
reason. Will Smith movies now. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone for that matter.
Yeah.
Like, you just, I mean, they've been around so long. It's not that they even do bad work. You're just like, there's that person doing what they do.
I think what it is though is they always play themselves and they don't know how to act.
Yeah.
Whereas like Philip Seymour Hoffman, God rest his soul, was in 4,000 movies and he never once was I like, oh, that's just Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Right.
Like I don't know what kind of a person he was. When he died of a heroin overdose, I was like,
I was actually kind
oh,
of, yeah, I was
really?
actually kind of shocked.
I thought he was a
until
fucking professor, like a college professor.
Yeah.
I had no idea what he was like in real life.
Yeah, same here. I
You know?
actually had that very weird. I had a very weird same reaction like
All
that
right.
too.
So let's do some more homework for next week. Tom, it's your turn to pick. What are we going to watch on Netflix Watch Instantly?
I chose Filth, starring Professor
Oh.
Xavier.
Ooh, Patrick Stewart.
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
Oh, that sounds good.
No, it looks interesting. It looks, yeah, I don't know. It could be raunchy. It could be dirty.
It is
Looks
called
like
Filth
they're-
and it's
Could
rated
be
R.
Filthy.
Yes, and I don't know what to make of it. It could be a dark comedy or it could be a drama.
Okay.
So,
All
we'll
right.
just find out.
So, Filth, this came out recently. It was a
It's been
small
in my
movie.
yeah. It's been in my queue for like a month and a half.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
been in mine
Yeah.
too. So this is good. It'll be a good way to get through it.
We had the Filth disc sitting at our house for a while, and then I sent it back when it came on to watch now.
Was your bad movie sense tingling? Similar to
No,
the
I
Samurai,
just
16
it was
Samurai?
it was I was busy. Kim was busy, so I thought, oh, if I can watch it now, I can get something else to sit on my shelf for a while.
That way, when you actually might have a spare moment, you'll have options.
She sent back Filth and
Exactly.
Dom Hemingway came in the mail. For real. So it worked out.
And it showed up too.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget your homework for next week is the movie Filth with James McAvoy. Please follow Time Spent Poorly on all our various places, whether it's YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Twitcher, or
Flickr.
Or Facebook.
Facebook. And
give us thumbs ups and likes.
Give us
and
thumbs
all
ups
that
and
shit.
likes, and check out all the other shows on Hanging from the Balcony. I
Follow,
believe
subscribe,
that Nathan
all that
has.
Yeah.
If you guys want us
a
to
few
watch
others?
something,
Yeah, please tell
let
us.
us know.
I've gotten one recommendation from Derek Yan. He recommended Black Mirror on Netflix. It's not a movie. It's a BBC show. 3 episodes in season 1, 3 episodes in season 2. Kimberly and I have started watching it, and it's good.
Disc or instant? Oh wait,
Instant.
He only
watch.
does instant.
Instant. So Black Mirror is something that you guys could check out.
Okay.
We've
Yeah,
started,
you should
but this
check it
goes
out.
to show you give us a recommendation, we will look into it, especially if it's available.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that might stop us is if we can't get easy access
Well,
to it.
No, but we really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it might appear to some of you maybe possibly that we might know what we're talking about a little bit more. So we were like, oh, we're gonna go watch that. We're gonna go watch that. But half the time we're just like, what the fuck should we watch? So recommendations are always great. And
We're
helpful.
always looking for something that looks good that'll because they can't all be sabotage.
and they can't all be turds in a bucket.
No, thank God for that. All right, guys, tune in next week. But until then, get out there, have fun, watch some movies, and have a wonderful movie night. Bye.